Santo Perro back with another action figure review. Today I'll be looking at the Medicom Toys action figure, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Deluxe set. Finally, I've been waiting for this guy for what seems like forever. Just waiting for it on pre-order was just about the worst thing ever. I'm not sure if it was ever gonna be released. Just honestly, I was like going crazy. But it finally came today. I'm so excited. This is such a huge box. Yeah, so I mentioned before, this is a deluxe set. It's a lot bigger than the original box. In fact, in the height, it stands up to like 13.5 inches tall and around 10 inches across. So that's pretty large. The biggest box I've ever seen for a 6-inch scale Spider-Man action figure. And yeah, here's a quick box comparison to the original one. A lot bigger in height, so I'm really excited about that. And we'll get over the box really quickly so we can get to the accessories and everything else with the figure. We have a different picture of Spider-Man on the side. Same kind of styling all over, except we have a picture of Spider-Man at the top with his bullhorn. On the side, we get him using the fireman accessories. Another one over there. This side has him with the Peter Parker head sculpts. And then on the back, we get a whole bunch of pictures that we actually got before the figure was released since Toy Fair 2014. Showing all the different things it comes with. Which much different paint job than I was hoping for on the actual figure. Because on everything else in the promo shots and even at the actual conventions, he was shown to have the much lighter red and blue that we see on every single picture on this box, but the action figure is a lot darker as the original one that we got, so I'm a little disappointed about that. But besides, let's just get to the actual review and I'll share my thoughts and a lot more. So as I mentioned before, this figure is no different in paint or sculpt as the original Medicom one. In fact, here it is right here. It's the exact same one. This is from the original release. This one you're looking at right here is the deluxe set that we're looking at right now. No difference in paint, everything's the same. But I must admit, it looks like they fixed some of the issues that I had with the original one. The biggest one being this loose arm right here. You can see it doesn't want to stay up and it just kind of flops around. It looks like they fixed it right here. It looks like the arm stays up and doesn't flop around, which I'm really happy about. Besides that, it comes with loads of accessories. All of them are really well packaged in there, so they're not flopping all over the place. Except the cell phone and the canister that it does come with kind of seem to go out of place as soon as it came in box and everything. But it's not a huge issue. It's not like anything's missing. So I'm not going to go over the figure. If you want to take a closer look at it, you can go ahead and look at the original review. This one's mostly going to be based on the accessories. And yeah, before I close out with this figure, I don't have any problems with it. I will show the other ones that attached to his hands later. But for paint and sculpt, everything's just fine. I think the spider logo came a little bit cleaner on this one, which I'm really happy about. The eyes, the rim around the eyes and the outline of the black looks really good. And the back spider looks really awesome as well. So no complaints right there. So let's get to the accessories. This set still includes the original 4 pairs of hands that include the wall crawling, the holding onto webs, the punching, and the whipping hands, the 2 webs, and the longer one for web swinging, and the Mafex space, which works perfect. The new stuff includes a new Peter Parker head sculpt, the megaphone, 3 new pairs of hands, 1 pair of feet, a plutonium canister, a manhole cover, a skateboard, a cell phone, a fireman's hat, a backpack, a removable Spider-Man mask, a new web, and a fireman's hose. First up, for his new hands, here we have the more grabbing hands, which you can use to grab other accessories, and it does still include the nice detail of the web being sculpted on and the texture, but it can hold stuff such as this bullhorn, which he used to talk trash to Rhino at the end of the movie. Not too crazily painted, it's just a simple white and blue, but it is very clean with a blue trim going around the inside. It does have the sculpted part in the inside of the bullhorn. It does have a little button on the top. On the sides, there is some ridges and like other sculpt details on the inside, and we have the little button in there. And as I said before, it can hold us on any of the 2 grappling hands. This fireman's nozzle looks pretty sweet too. It actually does have a working handle, and it does have an actual hose that is about 4.5 inches long. It does have ridges on it as well, and it does come to a stop, just a regular circle at the end. Funny thing about it is that the Marvel Select actually has a little bit more paint detail going on for it. It has more of a dry brushing effect that actually looks like it's been used and like maybe covered in fire. And it does also have the movement of the hinge up here, but on the inside it's kind of different. The paint job, and I'm not sure which one's more accurate to the movie, but either way, I think this one you can also use for the figure. I don't know why. Maybe just because it's more detail, but this one does have the hull, so that's pretty cool too. The Vial of Plutonium is also included from the first part of the movie, which has some silver around the edges of the rim of the plutonium canister. And on the inside, it might be a little bit hard to see, but it has the slightest bit of this kind of a shiny bronze orange color on the inside. So the last thing you can have him hold is this manhole cover that he used at the end of the movie to beat Rhino. And only like the first trailer we saw of it, in the actual movie, he used the webs. Which I'm surprised they actually didn't go back and like put in webs where you can actually attach to this and have it recreate that scene. But it's not too bad. It is not made of like a harder steel or anything like that, or die cast. It is just plastic, which makes sense because then the figure wouldn't be able to hold it. He does also come with this new web, which is about 6 inches long, and at the end it is unique because it has this more spread out kind of style before like it hits buildings, or maybe it can attach to bad guys' faces. But it doesn't have any of the loops to attach it to the wrist at the ends, which can either be a good thing or a bad thing. But they're best suited to be held in the hands that are more kind of an open grip, but they have like little slits in between the hands. Yeah, but he holds it pretty well, and it looks pretty cool. The clear plastic definitely makes it look awesome, just like the movie. And the spiraling effect around the webbing definitely looks really good as well. His other new pair of hands include these more spidery hands, as I like to call them, because they're a little bit more aggressive than the relaxed ones, and not as spread out as like wall crawling ones. So it's like whenever he lands, he does that kind of pose, which I like a lot. I'm happy they came with this, and they can be used to hold two different things. The first one I have on his left is his removed Spider-Man mask, which is really awesomely detailed with the same paint job and sculpt with the webs, but the eyes are not as clear as the actual figure. But still really good. They're about the same shape. Everything's painted really well. The bottom of it is just black, but you can hold it very firmly. I think mostly in his left hand is where I'm placing it, so that looks really good. And then his other one includes this really tiny cell phone, which is basically a black square with a silver trim around the edges all across, which, you know, gets the job done. It looks like a cell phone if you put him in his hand. Definitely to scale, so you can have Spidey calling somebody. Also included is the fireman's hat, which goes along with the fireman's hose, which funny enough is also just as detailed as the Mall Select one, because it actually has the fire department written in there in tiny letters. This one's way bigger, so obviously not going to fit on him, and it looks too silly since the Mall Select had kind of a huge head. This one's not bad. It has a little groove in the inside, so that when it fits on him, it goes on there perfectly, and it looks just fine, fits on him snugly. The skateboard is really detailed out as well. It has a little texture on top of it. On the bottom, it is just a flat sculpt, but it is really brought out with detail with a little paintbrushing that goes along the bottom and even the wheels to show some wear. We have some silver right there, some bolts. We have some black on the sides. I'm not a skater, so I'm not familiar with the names, but the wheels do not roll, so it is just stationary. And it is not die cast either, which would have made sense to go along with the magnetic feet if you want them to stay on there stationary. But I don't think it's a bad thing that the wheels don't move, so your figure doesn't have to take a shelf dive if he's up there. Along with the skateboard is also included the backpack based on the first Amazing Spider-Man movie, which is detailed with some blue. It looks like I have some type of shading on it, but I'm not too sure. It's definitely kind of subtle on there. The straps are painted more of a beige color with black buckles. We have the little logo thing that's supposed to be right there, whatever this is over here with the diamond shape. The straps, they're not too, they're hard, but they're not too soft either. So I'm not too sure how hard it's going to be to get on the figure. But before that, you can attach the skateboard by unhooking that and then putting in the skateboard and putting it back in to recreate the look from the first movie. Putting the backpack on was a little bit scary. I was a little bit hesitant about it, but it's not too hard. You're going to have to finagle it on there like a regular person would in real life. So I started off with the left side that kind of just squeezed the right arm in on the other loop. It doesn't look too bad. Definitely looks pretty cool. You can see everything looks really good. It's kind of heavy, so it might kind of like top off to the side a bit. But it might just be the way I have him posed with him just kind of walking casually. Definitely not bad. So the last accessory we're going to look at is the removable head. Okay, so here's the Andrew Garfield head sculpt. And I can definitely see like a little bit of him in here, but not too much. I do think that like in the production pictures and basically the prototypes, the head sculpt was shown to be a lot better. I did compare it to the box, and it seemed like he had a lot more paint detail in the mouth, a little bit more shading in the ears and like towards the top of the hair. But it's not to say that the paint isn't here, because it definitely is here. The lighting in my camera is making it look a little bit lighter in complexion than it actually is in person. But it's not bad, because he's more of a tannish color. Definitely looks like Andrew Garfield's skin color. The eyebrows are just painted on, not sculpted. The eyes don't look too bad. He kind of has kind of a Kristen Stewart kind of face, like a brick. I guess it's 7 Wet has called it so far. He's just kind of blank staring. It's not bad. I don't want to insult it either, because I do like it myself. And it even has a detail, because you separate all the way at the bottom of the neck by a ball joint. And it has a little, kind of more of a collar piece that comes towards the costume when it has his mask removed. Even on the back, it looks pretty good. Definitely looks like Andrew Garfield. Even from a side view, it does look pretty good as well. So, my personal opinion, I think I have to give it like a 1 out of 10. And just like a head sculpt towards looking like Andrew Garfield is like a 6.5-ish, maybe even a 7. But the fact is that basically you put a head on a Spider-Man body and you assume that it is Peter Parker. So I don't have any complaints. Give me your thoughts in the comments below what you think on this head sculpt. We're now getting to the bigger accessories of the set. First up is this big web. I haven't measured it yet, but let's see. Across, it is about 8 inches to like 8.5 inches long. The same thing I think going up. It's about 8 inches. And it has these suction cups on the end, which I have a hard time sticking onto the actual wall, but it sticks just fine to glass. There's no actual like web pattern detail, but just the overall like design of it looks really cool. Really nice translucent. Looks really nice. So the wall is what makes the box seem so heavy in the inside. It's really tall, really big metal plate that comes on the inside. It has this kind of a shadowing effect. Kind of makes like a brick pattern. Doesn't look too bad. It is metallic and it's being held on by these two things in the back. They do a really good job of it. I think it's much more sturdier plastic. It does feel kind of thick. And what you want to do is you want to take your magnetic feet that is included with the figure. These are unique. They have these little magnet studs on the bottom of the feet, which are actually still detailed, which I really appreciate a lot. It still has the articulation of the toe joint as before, but they have holes in them to interchange with the feet, which I'm going to try it right now. Alright, I already got the magnetic feet put on them, which were a little tricky to get out, but they go on just fine. And then I also got the magnetic hands on there, which are the same as before, but just with this extra piece coming out. And to be honest, I think I'm going to have these feet stuck on them like forever, most likely, because they don't inhibit a stance, and like whenever I feel like it, I can just stick them onto the wall. But whether you do that or not is up to you. So now I already got them in the wall crawling pulse, so we can just kind of stick them on there, and yeah, that is incredible. Oh man, I'm really geeking out right now. That looks really awesome. Look at him. He's hanging upside down on the wall and he's sticking on there. And there's no problem with him coming off of it. So that works out really well. I like this a lot. So that's it for my review. I've already looked at all the accessories. I've looked at the figure itself in another video, which you're more than welcome to look at, where I take a closer look at the articulation and the sculpt and the paint, which I never had a problem with. Although I am a little disappointed that we never got the classic red and blue, which is more the daytime Spidey. Whereas this is the more nighttime one, which I don't have a problem with. I never had a problem with it. It doesn't have any mishaps of paint or anything. It's well put on there. It's just, you know, we never got the more classic colors. So would I recommend it? Yes, I would. But I think you would have to be kind of a hardcore Spidey fan to buy it. Because if you already owned the first one, I don't really see much of a reason to get this one. Unless you're a hardcore Spidey fan, you don't care too much for the little accessories. For me, it was kind of a must-get. I mean, I never owned the first Mafex anyway. It was my brother's because he ordered it for himself. I just reviewed it. So now I have my own. If you're looking for a good Spider-Man figure, then this is definitely the one. If you're looking for a cheaper one, the new Marvel Legends are coming out as well. So that's the alternative. It has as many hands as well, but obviously not as many accessories. The price point is double as the original. It's $80. I think it was like $75 on Big Bad Toy Store. And yeah, I would recommend it, to be honest. I would give it a 9 out of 10. Because it's the same figure, but the accessories are great. I don't think they're worth double the price. I think it's mostly this giant wall that makes it that much. But yeah, that's it for my review. Please stay tuned for more other reviews. And this stop motion, so I'm got to.